Welcome to my channel. This is Ken Simiyu channel, and I want to welcome all the viewers to be able to follow me, to be able to subscribe so that we can move together as a team. One of the critical issues that we have been able to really anticipate that we move together as my beloved people and viewers is that there are many things that are happening in this country called Kenya. There is something that has been happening in the country, and I thought that we need to have a look at it, we need to analyze and be able to see the direction in which this thing is happening. Somebody said that history repeats itself. In 1966, when Kenya got independence, the ruling party by then, KANU, organized for what they were calling the Limuru 1 conference. And in this Limuru 1 conference, the dominant political party that time was KANU, headed by the late President of the Republic of Kenya, that is Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. And their main agenda of this conference was to bring together like-minded leaders. And at that time, the vice president, who was the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, had started causing trouble in the party. Remember Tom Mboya, who was the Minister of Labor by that time, could not see eye to eye with the Vice President, and they all happened to come from the same region, that is Nyanza. And in the hope that this Limuru 1 conference will be able to come up with resolutions that will be able to clip the powers of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, who was by then the Vice President. At that time, he was almost falling apart with the then President. So the Limuru 1 conference was convened, and a raft of decisions were made, which had far-reaching implications on the politics and the dynamics of this country. That time, there were 8 provinces, and 8 vice presidents were created as a resolution in that meeting. Ideally, this was to clip the wings and the powers of the then Vice President, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. That meeting changed the course of history of this country. And moving forward, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga had to resign from his position as the Vice President of the Republic of Kenya.
It is fairly clear that there is pressure and desire that I should leave the government. The authority concerned has, however, showed reluctance to say so openly to the public. If I thought that there was the slightest chance of putting things right from within the government, then this desire to remove me from office would not worry me, as indeed it has not done for the last 1 year. However, wananchi, my honest opinion is that the present government has reached a point of no return. It can only do for the people the little that the underground master allows it to do. Its guiding star has become personal gain. I therefore find it impossible to be part of it, and my decision is that from now on I should be free to join with wananchi in demanding that their voice be heard.
And that moment changed the history of the politics of Luo Nyanza, because they were only a heartbeat away from the presidents, but Jaramogi had to move away from the inner circle of the leadership of this country. As we moved forward in the year 2012 again, history repeated itself, and the Limuru 2 conference was convened, this time by the leaders from Mount Kenya region. And part of the things or the agenda of this meeting was to rally the region behind one candidate. Because remember, Mwai Kibaki had almost doing his 10th year in power in politics as the president of the country. And therefore, the Mount Kenya people were looking at a succession matrix. Though they had already produced 2 presidents, but you know, power is a sweet thing. And they had not given up on having one of their own again succeed Mwai Kibaki. And this meeting was convened, and part of the resolution was to endorse Uhuru Kenyatta as the kingpin of Central Kenya, which was successful, ideally putting him ahead of others in terms of succeeding Mwai Kibaki, who was due to retire. That meeting changed the course of history of this country, because that meeting produced a 4th president of the Republic of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta went ahead with the support of Central, Rift Valley and other regions to clinch the biggest trophy, the prize of being the president of the Republic of Kenya. So every time Limuru conference is spoken, or an idea of Limuru conference is mooted by the people of Central Kenya, then the country has a reason to be able to watch out. Because Central Kenya, remember, has now produced 3 presidents. Out of 5, they have been able to produce more than 50% of the presidents. And therefore, every time Mount Kenya plans to meet, then the country must stop to analyze, to listen, and read between the lines. So this Limuru conference that has been spearheaded by the likes of Martha Karua, who is the party leader of NARC Kenya, Jeremiah Kioni, who is the Secretary General of Jubilee, and other leaders who are fronting this meeting that is slated for 17th of May this month in Limuru. And it's been dubbed as the Limuru Free Conference. This is something that has sent jitters in the Kenya Kwanza administration. Recently, the Deputy President, that is Rigathi Gachagua, the famous Riggy, has reached out to the conveners of the Limuru 3 conference. And he has wanted that they come together, discuss what is the agenda. And this meeting seems to be gaining traction even amongst the common mwananchi in Central. And some of the things that they are arguing about is about the cost of living, the high taxation measures that have been put in place that ideally is affecting businesses in Central and the livelihood of businesses in Central. Another thing that this meeting seeks to address is the issue of termination of the boundary reviews. Remember, in the BBI, agenda there was a clause for 1 man, 1 vote, 1 man, 1 shilling.
Rigathi Gachagua, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, is a believer and a proponent of 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling.
Central Kenya seems like it is reviving this agenda to be endorsed during the Limuru conference. Whereas the leaders in Kenya Kwanza have been able to dismiss this meeting as another tribal grouping, but keen observers are saying that this is a meeting, if well packaged, well handled, well executed, could have a far-reaching political implication on the matrix of the leadership of this country. And for your point of information, the government is keenly watching to see the dynamics of the direction of this meeting and the resolutions that will come out of this meeting. As how far this meeting will go and the impact of the Kenya political scenario is a time will tell. But for Kenyans, if Sendro is meeting, watch out.